Hey guys, welcome to Style Class, and I have Sloan here today with me. We're gonna be winging it, just the two of us. So we're gonna be like getting undressed, hopefully off camera. And I just don't want to like get any naked bums in the camera. I mean, you're so young, like that would be terrible.
Yeah, hopefully we're not going to do
How
that
did your
today.
career get ruined, Sloan? Well, there you go. It's gonna be a good show today. So I I posted a story on Instagram. My mom's always like, "Did you Instagram me today?" I'm like, "No, Mom." So I put up a story this morning, and the context of the story was how important good ingredients are, even and maybe especially when you are looking for something that is going to just be so basic, but not make you feel like a basic, perfect for every day, and something that can be really used to dial things up or down. And I think that's why you guys, if you think about it, if you've got a weird event to go to, you can actually go to a vintage store. I remember one time in London, I went to this vintage store and bought this really like over the top cheap 80s knit, like literally from the 80s. It was like $30, but it was like so out there. It was London, like you could do it, right? But for your everyday, it's not that practical, really. It was gross. It was you didn't want to touch it for very long. But for the things that you're going to really count on living in, you want to make sure that they are made in a way that is simply just with the best ingredients. And it sounds simple to just use the best ingredients and have something great come out of it. But when you determine what the best ingredients are, it's got to go through a couple different filters. And an important filter, if you're a creative pragmatist, is really focusing on the proportions. So the story started out with me on the train this morning, wearing what I'm wearing right now. And it was such a reminder of how these Stella nylon pants have just lived the test of time. For me, these are the ones that I added to our collection in 2019 when we did the spring runway show that had the nylon cargo pants in it. And like you just, like it lasts forever from a quality standpoint, which is important. But one of the key reasons why it lasts forever is it's very malleable. It's not like the things that you go into your closet and you're like, whew, I dodged a bullet. I'm glad that trend's over. I'll never wear that super short rise again or that really long rise. So when you're looking for the perfect basic, you definitely want things, as I explained in the story, that have a nice long rise on them, because what that does is it allows you to hike it up when you want to. It's giving you all that ease. But if the rise were down to here, it becomes a different style of pant. I would argue it becomes a much more, for me, it would be a much more directional pant, because it would be like a Rick Owens, type, real drop crotch pant. So if I'm going to do that type of Rick Owens pant, that would be for me like a real moment that I would be getting dressed for.
Absolutely.
In that mood. But for me, for every day, that style isn't my everyday style. It is for a lot of people, but it's not for me, right? So you want to find things that you can really manipulate and move around in. And so I'm wearing the gray,
Perfect t-shirt, vintage sweatshirt.
There you go. I'm going to just want to show you guys, I'm just under 5'5", so you can see here's the length on it. What I love about it is this is a heavier t-shirt, but it's banded here. And just that simple thing, like a band, gives it a little more meaning, you know? Like you don't feel like you're going to flop around in it. I've got the sleeves way pushed up, but they're banded at the sleeves too. And then it's got this neckline that has a V neckline, but super important when you are thinking about buying basics is you want a neckline that commits. So when I'm looking for a basic, I either want a neckline that can have some interesting shape, but it's still quite high. If this was a V-neck that I was wearing, otherwise I would want it down to here. What I would never want is this kind of like, I just want to show my clavicle. I can't make it look bad because this t-shirt has so much ease built into it. But when you get into this no man's land, what we call, it's not even like a mass market fit, because so many designers right now are forced to design to mass. And by mass, I don't mean a hierarchy in terms of income. What I mean by mass is a very watered down version of the average. It's taking the algorithm all around and it's saying, if we just play to the most average number here, then on average, people will buy it.
Mhm.
We don't have to work to that. We don't have to work to averages. We are defiantly small, a small brand that likes to think big, right? Okay, so then the nylon pants here, these are the Stellas. And what we love about it is so functional, up, down, all the way around. And I'm going to show you lots of different permutations on that.
Mhm.
And then, of course, this is Harry, right? Is that his name?
Yep. That's
Not the texture. So this is the Harry
Harry boot.
boot. You can call it a desert boot, whatever you want. But the idea in creating like the perfect everyday boot for me was I wanted something that I could just slip on. So it has the elastic here. I wanted something that would never feel too precious,
Mhm.
right? You want to be able to wear it. It was really gross out this morning. So I was like, I want to wear Harry for that reason. It's gross out. But like by the time I would lace it up and everything, something would feel quite formal
Mhm.
with what I'm wearing, especially if I was just like scooching out to the grocery store.
Yeah.
And I've been obsessed with America's Next Top Model recently, so I'm going to use a lot of references here. But season 13, 12, I don't know, they go to New Zealand. And one of the poor models, she shows up in New Zealand, they've just taken them off a 22-hour flight, and then they have to go do their go-sees. And she's doing the go-sees in a pair of Uggs.
Oh my goodness, it all comes back to the Uggs.
Everything goes back to the Uggs. Anyway, she's wearing the Uggs, she's got jeans tucked into them, and then a very basic white t-shirt. And everyone that she went to go see, they're like, I just don't see a model here. And you can argue that there's so much right and wrong with America's Next Top Model and the directness and maybe the callousness that some of this information was portrayed. But over and over, what you see is when these young women come to be on the show, every time Tyra Banks is like, you got too many things on. Take that one thing off. Strip it down. And she goes apeshit when someone comes in with a pant length that hits like right at the ankle.
Mhm.
She's like, you look like you're about to do my taxes. So like maybe I stole that line from her, right? But the idea is that it's not about looking like a model, but there are very simple tweaks that you can do every day to feel like yourself. So I'm not getting on the train this morning hoping that someone will spot me for finally my chance in the limelight. What I'm trying to do is just get on the train and feel creative and pragmatic at the same time. And stripping things away to the very best ingredients is what allows you to do that. So I'm kind of stripped down to the most basic, and then you are amped up.
Mhm.
And so in the visual in Instagram, we showed the fancy grilled cheese. You're like a fancy grilled cheese here.
Yes.
I mean, and the great thing is with this palette, you can make it fancier.
Yes.
Will you talk about yourself while I just go?
Yes, I'll
like
talk
change
about
my
myself.
clothes real quick.
So, in the story of the fancy grilled cheese, we were talking about it, and then she also gave a fried chicken example, and said it's the best fried chicken is from Popeyes, but you can put it on a silver platter and dress it up essentially, and that's kind of what we wanted to show here. So this is the first iteration of the outfit that I'm wearing, and this is the fluid crepe, I think is what it's called, the skirt, fluted skirt, and then this top. And this feels dialed up with the boot, but I think inherently these pieces they still have a lot of ease built into it. So we have this slit, we have a structure, but it's not too body conscious. And then this skirt that's really movable, like it's very, very, it's fluid, and that's what it's called. But here's the back of it too. And the sleeves like really just do give a nice point of view, but I could see this paired with, a pair of pants. I think you can put, which I will do, but
Yeah.
put like a moisturized wool on top of this, and then it just chills it out even more. But I think even just changing the shoe, which I'm going to do,
Yeah.
elevates it.
Yeah, so with what Sloane's wearing here, I mean, this is where I was describing like the 80s sweater that you could get away with for like a big event. But if you've got events in your life that really need something that can play at the big event, but can also be really dialed up, dialed down, move around to different moments, then you want something here that is really rich as well. And this is where I kind of sometimes demarcate where I'm going to spend money on things and where I'm not. So sometimes the flashier, the louder, the more extreme something gets, that's where I often will pull back and either not spend as much, or in my lifetime of my 57 years here on this planet, I will spend, but it is very specific in where I will do it. You know, like how many, this is where you want to think about your closet as ingredients. Because say you do buy something very blingy and over the top and amazing. Once you buy it, you don't need to repeat that excessive type of style in your closet. It feels a need for that, unless you're Lady Gaga and you're on the road, and then that is her basic, right?
Yes.
So.
But like a skirt like this is not something that I would, this is not a statement piece, but it's a little bit more structural than like a classic trouser skirt.
Yeah.
Like a trouser skirt, I think you could have a couple iterations. You could have a compact, ultra stretch, just plain pencil skirt. You could have a tropical wool. And then this one feels a little bit more, just a little bit more dialed up, I think.
Yeah.
And so then pairing it with these, the sock and the sandal for like just that little bit of irony kind of makes it read more feminine, I think, than the boot did. The boot kind of gave it like a little bit more of a heavier structure. And this feels, you know, more feminine, but still kind of plays into it just I think still is really seamless altogether.
Yeah. And so remind me how old you are.
24.
Okay. So this is a more mature outfit for you as a 24-year-old,
Yeah.
right? So I think this is where I think that you really want to think about where you are in your life stage and where you're going to invest in pieces. So this is one where, you know, this probably wouldn't be your, would you invest in an outfit like this?
I don't think I would get the full set. I think the set would make me feel restricted. But I think if I got either the skirt or or whatever, the skirt or the top, then I would feel inclined to be more creative with what I already have. Because here I think I would just, if I bought this as a set, I'm like, okay, great, this is a set.
Yeah.
But this is something people are going to notice when you rewear time and time again.
So the reason why I'm asking Sloane this is I think it's very important for us to always be as realistic as possible, or helping you guys be as realistic as possible in what you need and what you don't need. And so one of the things that we say here at Tibby is, I know this for a fact, that we do not sell to any specific demographic, geographic, ethnic, social stratosphere, salary-wise individual. We do not follow any of what I grew up with in marketing as the traditional pillars for how you segment your audience. And, you know, the world still segments in that way. Every time I'm interviewed, people are like, how old is your customer? What does she do for a living, etc. So what we know is our customer has a similar mindset. It doesn't matter if they are in Tokyo or Dubai or London or the US. They share a common through line in how they think about things. They think about things in a way that is very nuanced, very questioning, very modern, and they have a chill about them. Always, right? We hope. And then they have a deep appreciation for the past and knowledge, right? So different age groups for sure, but similar mindset. So when Tracy and I are designing something, one of the things that I'm really always putting in front of Tracy is, you know, who's wearing it and where are we wearing it? And by who, at this stage of the game, I literally mean literally the names of people. I can think of people in my DMs who I know have very serious jobs, their clothing has to do a ton of work for them. They mean business, but they still like love like all of this femininity and this modernity that this is representing. And then above all, they need to be able to pick it apart and wear it so that if it is someone from a big organization and they're flying overseas, they need a comfort level that they can wear this in the office, they can winterize it and make it much more cozier, that they can get a lot of use out of it. So for someone who is younger in their career progression or younger in really figuring out who they are, something like this would be a very outsized investment. And one that should go through a lot of different, you really want to make sure that you've got places that you're wearing this so far.
Yeah.
So, okay, so can you show me like how would you change this up? Like winterize it, show. Okay. All right, so what I want to show you guys next is, okay, so I'm wearing the pants down here, and you can see that they have got all this ease and drop to them. And what I'm going to show you is how to take this and now really level it up one more game. So I was wearing it with the heavy t-shirt that works like a sweatshirt, and now I put it on with the mercerized wool. And the mercerized wool has the visible center front seam here. It's got the high neckline here with a point of view. And what I love with something with a high neckline like this in an easy item is it's got the ease built in, and then it's got like all of this coverage here. And so if you've got this ease built in, and if this was this kind of mamsy-pamsy, no place in the world, non-committal neckline, and it's got all the ease, what happens is the word ease then becomes sloppy because it's lacking the modernity. And it's that combination of chill, modern, and classic in an element at all times that really makes it work. So this has the rounder shape here, and I'm wearing a size small to give you a reference. So I want to give you guys an easy hack here. I don't like that word hack. I want to give you guys an easy way here to take something that is undeniably chilled out. I would wear this in the house for Thanksgiving vacation or Thanksgiving dinner, for example, right? Like, I'm not too dressed up at the table, but Mom, you've cooked this great turkey. Like, I'm here for this. I've been respectful. But if I wanted to be able to go out in it, or if it's Paris Fashion Week maybe, and I want to really go out to dinner, and I need this to level up and just be a little bit more, here's one other easy hack. So I only have one shoulder pad here, so I'm recommending two. But here's an easy thing to do to level this up quickly. I've taken a free-floating shoulder pad, and I'm just going to put it in here like this. And so now already I've got this strength happening. And if I were going out in Paris, I'm going to just slip to like a strappy sandal here. And so what's key is in choosing the right nylon pant for me is this is why something just right out of an athletic brand doesn't work for me, because the tension gets a little off. It doesn't feel as together as I want it to. That does not mean, depending on where you are and how often you'll wear something, that that's not a viable option for you. But for someone like me that lives in a pant like this is where I'm going to put an investment, because I want it to be exactly the pant that I want it to be. I don't want to make any compromises on the quality or the fit or just the fluidity of, can I really dress it up and can I really bring it back down again? I'm going to show you one other thing. So I'm wearing this full length here. And again, you've got some drag here for me. This is, I'm just under 5'5", so it's dragging a little bit. But I'm going to show you one more hack. So one thing to do when you're just kind of edging something up here is, for me, I would absolutely just wear a sheer nylon and tuck it in. So now it's giving like a little bit of our old school balloon pants that we used to have as part of fundamentals. It's kind of giving that vibe. So this modernity here is really playing to this. And so it's looking very interesting to me. And then another option, if you don't want to tuck things in, I'm very comfortable tucking things in because I can defend it pragmatically. So I don't feel like I'm trying to just do a style hack for the sake of doing it. But one other thing that you can do is take the pant, and I've got the rubber band, and so we're gonna pull it as tight as we can. My balance is so off. And then I'm just gonna bring it to the front here, and what I'm gonna do, my balance is really off. What I'm gonna do is roll it up here. So, if you went to school in the 80s in high school, you're just like, why the fuck are you showing me that? I know how to do that. But if you did it, other people are like, wow.
I just learned how to do it like 2 weeks ago.
See, there you go.
It's helpful to someone.
Glen Academy in Brunswick, Georgia, like me, you'd be all set. So you can do the roll here, or you can tuck it into the sock. And then I've got the shoulder pad. Also, if you have any of the t-shirts, we used to do the shoulder padded t-shirts, the little tank top ones. We're gonna bring them out again because they really had a lifelong functionality. They're easy to layer up on a sweater like this and give it like some gravitas. So now I've taken something that took me on the train this morning, that took me to Thanksgiving dinner, and now I'm very comfortable going out to dinner in Paris, and I'm like living up to the moment.
Right. And I think in terms of like not wanting to call it a hack, when you walked in, I thought that this was the cat jogger. Like that's how versatile it is, that it really does, like our cat or built jogger that really does come to like that elastic ankle. Like it's not, you're not doing this just for the sake of doing it.
No.
Like it totally serves another purpose, and I think you can tell.
And I think as well as when you're looking for where you're going to invest, I was on the train, etc. But one of the other things, and I hate to bring this up, but like if you go to a club, if you belong to a club that has a very strict like no jeans policy, let's just say hypothetically it's a country club, you're at a country club. So like a black tropical wool pant on a Friday night feels very excessive, like excessively, like you would get there and someone really would kind of think you're there to do the taxes. So, and then I'm not wearing like super traditional khakis. I've got cool khakis and I'll wear them every now and then, but I want other options. So these are options for the club, and then later on you can show it at like a different club.
The other kind of club.
The cool club. The cool club. Okay, so now you have just completely.
I took the shirt off your back.
You literally took the shirt off my back.
So I just put on the perfect vintage sweatshirt that Amy was wearing, still in the skirt, and then back to the Cuda boot. And then when we were kind of just like experimenting with outfits before coming on style class, I would never have reached for the brown belt. And then once Amy kind of suggested it, like it felt right. It gives just like the perfect amount of like ease and chill. And then we were talking about winterizing it. So we didn't have a real coat, but this is like an older one. This was fall 2024. Last fall. I think that sounds right. So it's just something that you have in your closet, throw on as another layer, and then on top of that. And this is more, I'm thinking of it as like, this is travel. This is to dial it up for travel. Yeah. So everyone brings, you have a good sweater. You wore this on a plane. You're wearing this over your jammies to run and get ice down the hallway, whatever. But just to tie it around and have that extra.
And so what I want to show you guys, so I'm going to have you come up closer here. So here is something interesting that we do with our knits. This detail here started out years ago for us kind of riffing on a skiing detail, like cool, it's a slit, it's a good detail. And then all of a sudden we're like, God bless, this is functional. So I'll show you. You're wearing the texture here, the sweatshirt, the brown leather, the gray skirt, and the boots. But when you got a chunky sweater that you do want to be able to absolutely just use as a scarf, then this just locks it in so that you don't lose it. Because the way that you had draped it a second ago, that thing was that was going to be on the sidewalk, trashed. But now you are so cozy and put together, but you don't look like James Spader in an old 80s movie. And do you know James Spader from old movies, or is he
I'm just laughing at you saying that I don't look like a man.
James Spader was like the preppy villain from the 80s. So
what movie was he in?
Well, like he would torture Molly Ringwald in Pretty in Pink.
I've seen Pretty in Pink.
Yeah, so he always had the popped collar, the sweater, like the 80s movies always had so much preppy that's like so extreme, but I love it. So can I have, I'm going to take two things from you real quick before you change. I mean, while you go change. So I want to show you here, like, of course, this is as basic as it could be. Tyra would love me. She would be like, you look like a model, whatever.
Oh.
She wouldn't say that. But this is so clean and simple. And this is like, you know, wearing, like these are our Seth sneakers, guys. If you remember, we did that ad where it's like meant to be worn, like this soft leather. It kind of gives jazz shoe, but without the jazz, without the jazz hands. No jazz hands. And what I love about it is I love the irony of mixing it with a sheer sock. This makes it more interesting to me, but I love it on its own too. It's just so super comfortable. So this is one where, of course, it's a no-brainer that you're going to wear this big sweater with this pant. But what I love is something as simple as the addition of a brown leather belt just gives it like the little extra something. And so if I was shopping in Paris, which I intend to do, let's pretend like I'm walking around Printemps. Tibby's on the second floor there, by the way, just so that you know, we love them. It's Printemps is outside of Asia. It's the only department store in the world that we sell to because Printemps acts like a specialty store. They're very curated and very careful. So here, what I would do is I'm going to wear the brown leather belt here with this, and this is going to pass muster in Paris.
Absolutely.
Out shopping, I feel very put together in a great way. But why don't you go get fancy, and I'm going to try on the gray top in a second.
Okay.
Fancy.
So,
Oh no, I need to give you my pants.
yeah.
But we can't go blank here, and I can't undress in front of
Yeah.
everyone. Hey, Gabe? Do you want to talk for a minute? We have,
We're low today.
I know, we're
The
very
tour's on the way to
low.
London.
The team is on the way to London, and, hey, Matt, come here. Matt, Sloan and I have to go undress at the same time.
Oh,
But
so you're
we
on.
just, but what I would like for Matt to tell you about is we just launched the AR podcast. So why
Yes.
don't you talk about that for a minute?
Hello, everyone. If you don't already know, we now create a podcast called Almost Reckless. Today launches our 8th regular episode. We've done 2 special episodes, and it is with Mara Hoffman. It is a wonderful conversation. It's available on all your favorite streaming platforms. You can also go back and watch all the old episodes, which are really great as well. If you don't like just listening, there's video available. If you don't like just watching, audio is available. And Gabe, my co-producer, can now say his words.
All of them have been said. So we need to, yeah. The episode's out today. I think it's a really great episode. Talks about Mara's entire career in the fashion industry, a lot of the trials and tribulations that independent designers face, growing their business independently,
But actually, though, if you don't follow Almost Reckless, you should follow it right now because we're keeping track of which one of you are actually loyal.
there's a lot of good reels and clips from other episodes that you can watch too. So.
It's really good. All right, thanks guys for holding the fort down. Okay, so what I wanted to show you is I just took this from Sloan. Actually, someone could have worn it. I could have taken it. We didn't have to have the guys. What I wanted to show you is we said that the top and skirt that she was wearing earlier could be mixed and matched. And so I wanted to show you how this plays well with this. So I kind of feel like I've got one too many things happening here. So I'm gonna, with the proportions, I'm gonna let this go down all the way, the pant, and then I'm just gonna have this little bit of sheer skin sticking out. Yeah, I like this much better. So, you guys saw this on Sloan, who is 5'9" and 24, 25, something like that. 24. And now I'm gonna show it on me. And I just wanna show you how this looks. It looks intentional here that these are meant to be worn together. And so one of the things I think a lot about pieces that are in fundamentals is the intentionality of them. And what I mean by that is these pieces should allow you to have items in your closet that are pushed or very luxurious, and it should make them really play in a way that is chill and very easy to wear. That was kind of redundant. But so you can imagine if I were on a trip, hands down, I would have the skirt with me, but this is very easily the top that I would wear out at night. And so what you can see is, this one is like the holy grail because it is an incredibly, incredibly rich Italian wool fabric, and it's got a little bit of give in it. And then it's designed so that it meets in a bias here and is creating these purposeful lines here. And then in the back, you've got the seaming detail. So I'm wearing a size 4 in this, and it is very put together, very modern, but absolutely effortless at the same time. And I love it with the pant. One thing you've heard me refer to a few times is a fashion mullet. And when I was talking about a fashion mullet, that's when two things that are so different come together that it either doesn't ever really gel, literally, like it's like a gel that separates, or it comes together in a way that is interesting, but maybe it's not your style. And a lot of people have this happen if you buy like a really frilly lace dress and you're like, you know what, I'll just put a pair of men's brogues on with it. And personally, when I see that look on the street, I love it every time. But when I put it on, it feels very outfitty for me. Like it doesn't calm down a lace dress. It actually amplifies it and makes that lace dress much more of a total outfit. So I would wear it, but it creates a total outfit. So sometimes just putting opposites together is not going to immediately calm something down, relax something, or elevate it. Because if the two aren't really born to be together in a seamless way, then you're not going to get the outcome that you want for feeling like yourself on a consistent basis. So what I mean by being able to identify things that are can be put together but not feel redundant is both of these items are chill, modern, and classic. Both of them are luxury, but in their own way, right? Like this is a $395 nylon pant. This is substantially more. They are luxury within their own categories, and they're working together. And so the lace dress and the brogue example, that over the top like baby doll lace dress, it might be modern. It might be a little chill if it's like a cotton. It's not going to have all the elements together. And then the brogue might be chill, modern, and classic, but they are inherently going to fight against each other in a way that creates a different personality for someone. It creates a specific look for you when you want it. But in terms of like that true cohesiveness for it to be your everyday outfit, if you are a creative pragmatist, if chill, modern, and classic at once is important to you, it's not going to be your everyday outfit. So that's how you want to start to really think about what are the things that I'm buying that I will get the most use out of, and what are things that I'm buying that are those had to haves that I'm not going to get a lot of use out of, but I will like it. And for me, that would be that all over lace frilly dress. Okay, so you're
Have to have.
you're in a had to have for you.
Okay. Yes, this is like when we were talking about while we were getting dressed and trying things on. Like there's no world in which we're spinning this that you're wearing this with the red tights and the furry Grangers to the grocery store. But I think what's still important about being in something like this is still pushing chill, modern, and classic. There's ease built into this dress. It's modern because of like you can see the shoulders are a bit more square. This texture is kind of like interesting and kind of icky. It really like holds its place, as Amy tried to show last week.
Yes. I did.
But it does. It holds its place. And then, it's classic. It's a beautiful silhouette. It's, nothing crazy there.
And what would make this not classic is like if it were a plunge V-neck and if I had added tons of ruffles to it,
Right.
and then maybe like a little, I don't know,
Like a
metal
pendant,
thorn
something,
coming
yeah.
out. Yeah, exactly. But actually, something like this works like a beautiful canvas
Mm-hmm.
for you to play around with. So I love this. What I want to show you is when Katura had this on last week, what she was saying is for her, what she might do is find a way to slit the lining on the inside
Mm-hmm.
so that you can really leverage this, because this measurement extends well beyond the lining measurement. You can imagine if I had lining in here to accommodate the full strips
Yeah.
of this, it would be huge.
Yeah, this really is.
So what that lining is doing is it's allowing us to give some structure to the dress, and it's
Mhm.
absolutely allowing us to have this really clean neckline.
Mhm.
But we called Jasmine, our technician, afterwards, and we were like, what's the easiest way to allow someone more flexibility here? And one of the ways is to take the lining and just slit it right up the back here,
Mhm.
or slit it on the side. So
Mhm.
it's an easy fix if that's your desire.
Yeah.
Okay, so one more way of dressing this pant up. I wanted to show it with going all the way with the sheer back
I love it.
organza blazer. And so in terms of like super, super, super luxury, this is one of the richest fabrics you can find here. So this is an Italian slub fabric. It is decidedly gutsy and strong and beautiful. And you've got the sheer back here. So it's just,
I think there's like the really subtle pinstriping on it. I feel like,
mhm.
I don't know if that gets picked up.
It's like a herringbone detail, and it really, it's just really, really magical. And I can't, am I a size small or is this a 4? I don't,
This
Is
is,
it-
there's no, nothing in it.
it's a sample. Sorry.
I'll think with you.
I can't, can someone tell me if this jacket is size for SML? What size would you would, we don't know yet, right? This is what we're getting.
This is
Okay, so I'm wearing
Okay.
size 4.
Yes, I would probably, in blazers, I like to go up a little because I am tall at 5'9", like especially like with a Liam, I always go to a small. I could wear an extra small, I guess, in terms of width, but I like it long. That one I would go long.
And so what I want to show you, maybe you can put on the fringy thing. So I want to show you, this also has the matching trouser skirt in this. And this is just our, I'm not wearing a shirt underneath this, so I don't want to like completely flash you guys. But this is our trouser skirt. It's got the side trouser detail, and it's just quite beautiful, and it's got the side slit here. So this really makes this trouser skirt and jacket together. This is absolutely black tie material. You are not faking it out that you're wearing like a real work suit to a black tie event. This is absolutely plays at the most designer level for the best black tie event. And it's something that like you could always switch it out with a gold sandal and make it something entirely different. And this is also something that without a doubt I would put on a gray sweater with and make it more casual. But what's important to know is this plays at the top level. And you know, if you guys have been there, you know how you really want to make sure that you never feel not yourself when you're at an event. And I think about this a lot when I'm designing because, of course, you know, I moved from South Georgia to New York, and there were just things I didn't know. I didn't know, first of all, how heavy the winters were going to be, how heavy my sweater should be. You know, I came up here with like all these Banana Republic cotton sweaters, and they just didn't cut it when it became like 3 degrees outside. But I also remember how it felt when I would, you know, go to an event and something just really felt off about what I was wearing. It didn't feel like it was playing at the level of those around me. You know, of course, first of all, it wasn't. Like, I was a junior employee. I was around a lot of very senior executives at an event, so I'm not going to be at their level in terms of what I can afford and even what I know yet in my lifetime to buy. But as I got older, I started to experience and see with a lot of people that feeling does not necessarily go away when you acquire more income, when you acquire more age behind you. There are a lot of people who have moved up a track and they still feel this level of uncertainty when they go to an event. And so when we talk about like what a safety blanket is, I'm going to say something like this is the ultimate luxurious safety blanket. What I mean by that is back in the day, Liz Walker, Liz Swenson, someone just mentioned her to me. She was my PR person. And the way that you did PR in the mid 2000s was PR meant that you were talking to socialites. You were going after Tinsley Mortimer and Zany Googleman. I mean, like all of these names that I haven't thought about in a while. And you were going to lots of events in the city. And I remember I would be sitting at a table and I'm sitting there with someone who is wearing a $30,000 Dior gown. Someone's wearing blah, blah, blah. Like they're wearing the beautiful, beautiful things. But for me, the $30,000 Dior gown, it's not in my pocketbook, but it's also not something that I would do. It's not my vibe, right? But if I do go to events that are very elevated, very luxurious, this is my armor. This is like, yes, I'm not wearing that gown. I choose not to wear that gown. This is me, but everything about the quality of it is standing up to what you're wearing, and you do you, and I'm doing me. So I think this is a perfect segue into what you're wearing, because this is something that we know can go lots of different ways and across lots of different people in different stages of their mindset.
Yeah, so I think the first thing with the fringe cape for me is that I am from Texas, so it can, I think, in the right situation, feel a little bit too on the nose. Like if I was wearing this with skinny jeans and boots, like it looks like I am going to go to the rodeo. But I live in New York now, and I want to emulate that in my dressing, you know? Like it's not like what we said, I didn't run to New York to go get a face tattoo and whatever. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but that's just not my vibe. But this, I think, kind of gives a nod. It's just a little touch of irony for somebody who knows me, and then it's just dialed back with the crispy nylon Stellas, and then this, which I feel like is really making me feel like a New Yorker, the little socks and the tights and the sandal. So it is, feels elevated, it feels ironic, but it feels still normal, like it feels like me.
And I think this is, what you're talking about, being from a small town in Texas. Is San Antonio considered a small town?
My neighborhood is small.
Okay, neighborhood is small. But I think what a lot of people can relate to is that sometimes you move thousands of miles away to kind of be able to do something and become something more, right? And then other times you love where you're from and you want to stay there, right? So to me, this strikes that balance of, yes, you've moved away, you live in New York, but this is your New York outfit, but it is something that would work absolutely back home. Your friends wouldn't be like, oh my God, who are you? We don't even know you anymore, right? Like,
Right.
they're not going to give you a horrible amount of shit. And that to me is the Holy Grail. And if you've stayed in that town, this is a way that you can express yourself that is pushed. You can do all this without moving to Milan, without moving to Hong Kong. You can do all this and then still be you in your small town. And it really is about not trying to be Hong Kong in the middle of Houston. It is about just being you wherever you are. And this, so, okay, what's great too, just so you know, this nylon is so Cassius proof.
I know. Do you want to come?
So I'm going to put on, I love this, and I'm going to talk about this for a minute, and then I'm going to put on the amazing thing that we're going to end this on. Okay, this is the super heavy cashmere, and we showed this last week on Katura. I think she had on the crew neck. So what these sides do is it allows you to either like just let it dangle and hang down, or you can button it and give it a little bit of interest, or you can really cinch it up and do even more with it. And so the more I cinch, then the higher it's going to sit on my body and then just create a different shape. And so this is the skirt that I just had on a second ago that I said, if you show up and you are wearing full-on Schiaparelli, I feel really good in that black jacket and this black skirt. Like you and I, we can go head to head in a way. What I mean by that is we can go head to head in a way that I'm not self-conscious. I'm not checking myself. I'm not wondering, do I belong here? I've like figured it out. I know what my armor is, and it is the trouser skirt and the jacket, but it is in that incredibly, incredibly rich fabrication. And so the cashmere sweaters here, we haven't done the really heavy cashmeres in a while. And it had us very much craving them again, or making sure that if you don't have one, you can get a chance to get it, right? So this is a size small that I'm wearing, and it's obviously, you guys, designed with purpose. This is our small. Please do not size up in Tibby in order to get the ease. The ease is absolutely baked in. So you've got this raglan sleeve here. It's got all the chill. And I mean, if this was at my house, if it was Christmas Eve, if it was a Rosh Hashanah dinner, we celebrate everything. Like, this is what I'm going to be down with wearing, and I'm going to feel really good. I'm going to wear it in Georgia and feel good. And if I was wearing it in Connecticut or Manhattan, I'm going to feel good in it as well. Can I see the gloves real quick? So I wanted to show you guys too, like the really rich glove here. Sloan?
Yes.
Can you come out?
Yes.
So just want to show you up close the glove here, which is really great because you've got the fingers that can come out. And Alana, we had her do this because it makes me insane when I'm wearing a glove and I'm at the train station and I'm freezing and I cannot use my phone. Like, that's the biggest pain in the ass. You do this and then you have to put it back on again and you lose your mind. So this is really so that I've got options here to be able to use the phone. And here, come play with yourself there, and then I'm gonna.
Okay. So I've really taken what Amy was wearing today and made it my own. And I think that this is another great example of dialing these crispy nylon fellas up or down. I'm adding just this little, sorry, put this off. I'm just adding our pony hair zebra belt for a little bit of texture here. And then I have it still with the sock and the heel. And this is something for me that this is taking me, I do PR for Tivy. I work in fashion, so this feels super office appropriate for me. And then I'm going and meeting a friend after, but also this is something that I'm comfortable, I feel chill, back to the holiday. Like I'm wearing this at Thanksgiving. I'm wearing this for a Christmas dinner. And this feels like our family Christmas is super duper chill, but I still feel like myself, and I'm feeling like I get to kind of express that side. Like I do live in New York, I do work in fashion, and so I do feel elevated here. I think that this can be dialed down too, like how Amy had it with a sneaker, but I just like the belt for like a little bit of added interest here.
Cool. Oh, brown leather belts here. Okay, great. All right. So we'll end it on this because this has been our most requested dress here, and we love it so much. And again, like if I was with Liz and Amelia Fanhul, that was my old PR, my more at the time more socialite driven PR, I would have felt really, really great in this. So this is this beautiful, beautiful sheer organza-based fil coupe. It has got a slip dress underneath it that is just a pull-up. I did put it on.
She put it on as a skirt. She's like, "Where's this supposed to land?" I was like,
Don't do that.
It's a full slip.
We've got the pockets in it so that it's got all the ease.
So beautiful.
And then it's got the draped back here.
I just want to say, I encourage everyone, like if you shop at New York or in St. Simon's or any of our retailers to have this. I tried this on for the design team just to see how it fit, and I've never felt more beautiful in my entire life. So if you have the opportunity to try this on, I could not
Go for it.
push it harder. It is the most, it's just so stunning.
It's so stunning, and I think what is really great about it too is it's not a one and done dress. I think that, if I bought this at any stage in my life, I can't imagine a closet purge that I would have ever been like, oh my God, I'm so sick of that completely elegant,
Gorgeous
dress that can be anything at any time. Like, these are things that you don't get sick of. When we talk about really good ingredients, no one ever said, I'm really so sick of incredibly delicious French butter. It's not a thing. Like, your doctor might make it a thing, but it's not a thing. We do not get sick of these things. So when you are investing, guys, run through that. So I just want to show you one last thing, because when I was putting it on, as I've been thinking about Sarah's wedding in Jackson Hole, and the whole cowboy thing, right? Like, it's Jackson Hole, right? So I've been thinking, like, what am I going to wear? And I want it to be Tivy, and I want it to be good, and I want it to be of the moment. So I was playing around. I said, let me put the boots on first. So the first thing I'm going to wear, and I think I love our black boot here, but I'm actually going to wear the black boots that they custom made for me from that store in Houston, La Hacienda Boot Company. You have to DM them, and it is owned by a young man and his young family. They're all there. They came over from Mexico a while ago, and we found them by accident when we found first a Vietnamese Cajun restaurant she went to first, and then we saw this boot company next door, and oh my God, they're so lovely. So what I'm thinking is I'm going to wear the black cowboy boots, so imagine that, and then I wanted to see how a rich brown belt would look with this. And so I'm going to gather him up like this, and then what I love doing, guys, here, you don't have to wear a belt just through the little holes. You can make it work for you, however. I also find it's helpful to buy vintage men's really long belts. And this is where I'm kind of like, when you see someone on a street style photo and they're wearing a really long belt and they're like, oh my God, I bought this from XYZ and I spent this much. Just go vintage, buy a men's belt in a really, really long length. So I think this with the cowboy boot, and then maybe I'm going to even let this
So good. Like I'm like
I'm
hoping
gonna
someone I know gets
read it
married
through
so I
it.
can wear this exact outfit.
So it's really good. We can do lots of good things to it. I'm going to bring this up close so that you guys can see. And it's completely sheer underneath. Like you really could have
You can have that
a
moment.
full-on moment if that's what you wanted, which honestly, like south of France on vacation, maybe, who knows?
So good.
All right, guys. So remember, shop smart. Try not to shop often because the smarter you shop, the less often you will shop. Really think about who you are. You only have 3 ways to communicate who you are. It's through your words, your visuals, and your actions. Words are more than 1/3, I would argue, because they say that, you know, what do they say?
I don't know what they say.
Actions speak louder than words. Oh, but then first impressions are that's confusing, right? Because you're right. Actions speak louder than words, but then first impressions are everything.
We'll break that down.
All I'm saying is it matters that you are dressing to who you are because you feel calm, you feel balanced, and you feel better. It's a good thing. All right.
Housekeeping?
Housekeeping. I leave for London on Friday. The team is leaving tomorrow night. The rest of the team is leaving. You got Davina, we've got Katura, we've got Grace, we've got Darian. It's going to be an amazing event. Thank you guys for making all the recommendations for the London restaurants. We will definitely try some out. And we'll give you we'll tell you which items we found super delicious. And the Almost Reckless podcast with Mara Hoffman dropped today, and Matt held cover and told you guys about that. What else is coming up? Oh, and then I'm going to Vienna, and that's going to be amazing at the new Tibi studio with Schneeweiss, which is a permanent thing. This is not a pop-up. It's a permanent thing. And then we go to Paris, and then we go to Jackson Hole. There's a lot going on.
It's a lot.
A lot.
Do we stop about next week or are you doing it?
TBD.
Cool.
I'll do something with packing for sure. Bye, guys.